What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Curtis Zone, where I am starting to redecorate my background. As you can see, I've already got my Digimon poster up, and I have a lot of other stuff to add, including this pop figure of Mr. Terrific. Alright, I personally loved him in the Superman movie. I hope that you guys loved him too. I'm going to put him in the background right now. I'll also be adding this Superman figure to the background as well, because we here on the Curtis Zone, we love us some superheroes. Now, as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we talk about all things action-packed children's programming. Because I, your ever so amazing host, Dylan J. Curtis, will be talking about the Transformers. More specifically, Transformers Generation 3. Today is a history on Transformers Generation 3. And as always, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for any episode, period, because this too was a special request, get in that comment section down below and I'll get back to you. Alright, before we get started, let's talk about some news, ladies and gentlemen. The first piece of news is this. I saw the trailer for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and I gotta say the movie looks fantastic. However, fans are kind of on the fence about it due to the fact that they're making it look too much like an MCU ripoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. Personally, I cannot wait. I saw the characters for He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, and Skeletor's look, which was so badass, by the way, and I hope that everyone is excited for it, because this movie looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The next piece of news is this. James Gunn has announced that he'll be revealing some short cameos for Batman and Wonder Woman in the upcoming next Superman sequel. It's going to be pretty cool because they have already confirmed that the characters are going to be in it. Who's going to be playing in it is not been set in stone. However, I can't wait for it nonetheless. The final piece of news from the world of Disney Plus, they have announced the cast for Power Rangers, and they're thinking about having a female Red Ranger. That has been done before, like twice, but let's see where they're going. They say that they're thinking about it. They're not really setting it in stone yet. We're going to be talking about the series of Robots in Disguise. Then we're going to talk about Transformers Armada, then Transformers Energon, then Transformers Cybertron. Do not be shy to get in that comment section down below and tell me what your favorite Transformer or Transformer series is, because we all have our favorites. Don't be shy, okay? Let's talk about the non-fictional origin, then the fictional origin, then my favorite moments, then important moments. Well, important moments before favorite moments, and then we're going to end it all with powers and abilities of the main protagonist. Though the protagonist is the same as the antagonist, we're going to talk about that anyway. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, and remember, you should be liking and subscribing. Now, unlike Transformers Generation 2, which you can find somewhere up here, Transformers Generation 3 was not a bunch of series that were connected to each other. In fact, they were a series of different shows with similar premises. Now each show consisted of a series of Autobots and Decepticons that were fighting against each other. However, the premise of the original Generation 1 and Generation 2 were the same. Autobots were raging battle against the Decepticons to protect the planet Earth. It was pretty cool to see. There are many shows that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about them right now. Now, the first Transformers series we're going to talk about, Transformers Robots in Disguise. It had its first episode in December 2000. More specifically, December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. It had its final episode in September 2001. It lasted 39 episodes and gave us a lot of Autobots and Decepticons to choose from. Now, like I said, this is a new version of Transformers. Transformers Generation 3 was a new version of Transformers, which means that the studio Hasbro was making it for a different generation, which meant that they were creating a new version of Transformers, which consisted of new types of Transformers such as Hotshot, Red Alert, a whole lot of other things. Now, Hotshot, he was very unique. He reminded people of Bumblebee, which meant that he was the Autobot scout. So, yeah, there's that. The next Transformers series was Transformers Armada, which had its first episode in August 2002, had its final episode in December 2003. Unlike Robots in Disguise, that lasted 59 episodes and 3 different story premises, but they were so cool nonetheless. Transformers Energon started in January 2004, had its final episode in December 2004. The series lasted 52 episodes, but it was still pretty cool nonetheless, and it had a little bit more of a different story. And finally, there was Transformers Cybertron, which had its first episode in January 2005 and ended later that same year. Normally, I do a more extensive background into the origin, but since we got 4 different shows we're going to talk about, I'm just going to give you quick little clip notes from the origins. You know, quick important stuff from the origins, and then you guys can just watch the series. Okay, I know it's kind of hurtful, but just bear with me here. Now, let's get started talking about the fictional origins. Alright, here's the origin for robots in disguise. Here's what happened. Megatron would come to Earth after a long battle with the Autobots and the Decepticons on Cybertron, and he would come to Earth looking for a new power source, looking for new energy to use and make himself stronger. And he would come with his Predacons. This would lead to a battle between the Autobots and the Predacons against each other on Earth. However, they've already integrated themselves aboard Earth, and so Megatron would try to kidnap a scientist in order to find new energy sources. This would lead to the greatest adventure of a young man's life, the young man being the scientist's son. I'm not going to spoil any names for you guys. In Transformers Armada, it was a little bit different. Here's the thing. In Transformers Armada, the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons had raged on for years, and so they would send the prize minicons away from Cybertron, and the minicons would find their way to Earth, where they would scatter across the planet in time and gravitational force and all sorts of other stuff that has happened on Cybertron on Earth would render the minicons into a dormant sleeping state. This was until 3 young children named Rad, Carlos, and Gina would awaken one minicon, and then the Autobots and the Decepticons would find their way to Earth, and this would start a battle between all of them. The Minicon Wars, if you will. Remember when I said each series from Generation 3 wasn't connected? I kind of lied. You see, Transformers Energon was both a spin-off of Transformers Armada, but at the same time it was a continuation of Transformers Armada. There were some elements from Armada that went into Energon. Here's the thing, instead of the prize minicons, it's now the Power Link Wars. You see, the Transformers are looking for Energon, which is all scattered all over Earth and Mars and Saturn, all of these other places, and the Autobots will be working with humans in order to find it. However, the Decepticons, who have been in hiding for a long time, would bring back their leader Megatron, and this would lead to the Power Link Wars. So yeah, there's that. The origin of Transformers Cybertron was a little bit different. You see, instead of them coming to Earth looking for something, they're coming to Earth, they're going to different planets looking for the 4 cyber planet keys. This would happen after the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons would ravage all of Cybertron. So they're looking for the new cyber planet keys. The cyber planet keys, which would give them more power. They would find the Omega Lock on Earth, and out of all the places they could find it, they would find it on a child's t-shirt. The map to the Omega Lock would be on a child's t-shirt. And because of this, they would start another war here on Earth that is known as the Cyber Planet Wars. I loved it. You will love it. I recommend that all of you watch it. As far as important moments go, here's one important moment that you need to know from Transformers Armada. You see, in Transformers Armada, there will be this enemy known as Unicron. Everybody knows who he is. Unicron, the destroyer, the devourer of Cybertronian worlds. Yeah, he would come to battle against the Autobots and the Decepticons. And so the Autobots and the Decepticons would team up together to fight against Unicron and his Terracons. And it was found out afterwards that one of Megatron's soldiers would betray them to Unicron in order to gain more power. Yes, this would lead to a great battle between all of them. This would be known as the Unicron Wars. The next important one we're going to talk about is in Transformers Energon, when we will find out about the Energon Towers. What is it, you may ask? The Energon Tower is a giant massive structure built by the Autobots and humans. It was used to mine, refine, and store raw Energon for the Autobots and Decepticons to use. However, the Decepticons will always try to destroy these Energon towers in order to collect the Energon and make themselves stronger. Both the Decepticons and the Terracons, that is. Yes, the Terracons are now working with the Decepticons. The final important moment happened in Transformers Cybertron when we first meet Vector Prime. Vector Prime is one of the 13 original Primes, and he has the Blades of Time and Space, which give him the ability of teleportation. Now, Vector Prime is very different from all the other Primes because he is warrior class, but he's more of a traveler than a warrior. He's more of a traveler and an explorer and an observer than he is a warrior. So yeah, there's that. Now let's talk about my favorite moments. I have 4 favorite moments from 4 series that I want to talk about. All of them are my number 1 from each series. My first favorite moment happened in Robots in Disguise when we first meet the Rail Brothers. The Rail Brothers, who are 3 bullet trains that have the ability to combine with each other and become an unstoppable force. It's my favorite because it's the first time I've ever seen trains turn into Transformers. Ever since then, I've never seen a rail version of a Transformer. So that's my favorite. My second favorite moment happened in Transformers Armada, when Hotshot would storm the Decepticon base in order to get a meeting with Megatron in order to form an alliance between the Autobots and the Decepticons against Unicron. This was impressive because he was the only one who's ever done it, and he went up against the entire Decepticon army by himself. That was awesome. I don't care what anybody says, that was awesome. My third from Transformers Energon is when we first see Kicker's suit. Kicker's suit, who is the son of the scientist that's working closely with the Autobots. His father gave him a suit that is designed to withstand Energon and also link with Transformers. I find that impressive because my dad's never given me a suit. No, he hasn't. My dad's never given me a suit. My final favorite moment for Transformers Cybertron is when we first see Optimus Prime in Tiger Claw mode, where he was able to combine with a tiger in his super mode. I thought that was pretty impressive because it gave him the ability to slice through anything with that Tiger Claw. That was pretty cool to see. I don't care what anybody says, that was pretty cool to see. Now let's end this all with powers and abilities, starting with Robots in Disguise. Like always, they are robots in disguise, which means they have the ability to transform into vehicles or animals just like all the time. This also gives them a wider range of weapons, including lasers, missiles, and whatever they transform into, they can combine with to form a super version of themselves or access more weapons. For Optimus Prime, you have his super mode, you have his flying fist, and you have his missile launcher as well. That was pretty awesome. In Transformers Armada, it was a little bit different. You see, the Minicons had the ability to combine with the Transformers to activate different weapons or different shields or different defensive, both offensive and defensive weapons. You have, when it came to Hotshot, he had the ability to fire missiles. Red Alert had the ability to shoot an even bigger gun. Optimus Prime, when it combined with his super mode, it had his max fire ability. Also, the Minicons also formed to create a new weapon such as the Star Saber, the Omega Shield, and the Requiem Blaster. They were pretty cool to see. Now in Transformers Energon, it was a little bit different. Like I said, it was still known as the Power Link Wars, which means they had the ability to combine with each other, not with Minicons, giving them new weapons, new actions, and of course new abilities. This gave them the ability to combine with each other for flight, enhanced strength, enhanced weaponry. The list goes on for days. With Transformers Cybertron, it was different. Their powers were determined on what Cyber Planet Key they were combined with. Each Cyber Planet Key gave them a different ability. Different lasers, different missiles, different defense, different speed, even a different flight capabilities. With the Autobots and the Decepticons, it was dependent on how the Cyber Planet Key combined with them. With an Autobot, it would activate lasers, but with a Decepticon like Starscream, it activated blades on his arms. With all that said and done, another episode of the Curse Zone has come to a close, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to get in that comment section down below and tell me what your favorite season of Transformers was, as well as your favorite Transformer. Do not be shy. Get in that discussion, people. Get in the discussion. Come on. As always, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I mean, if you haven't yet, that's on you. I will be back soon with more episodes, more segments, and of course more of my bouncing pecs. Once you hit that like and subscribe button, do not be shy. Get getting that like and subscribe button, everybody. I will see you very soon with the next episode. But for now, peace.